It is day 131 of the 1460.5 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. And he spent some of that term standing with, or sitting, as Elon Musk stood with him in the Oval Office, thanking Elon Musk for his hard work leading up the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Much to the chagrin, much to the dismay of those who want to create a narrative that there is some form of schism between the president of the United States and Elon Musk. That schism does not exist. As they were together in the Oval Office, Elon Musk always said that he was in this for a 130-day period of time. And he was in it for exactly 130 days, as he promised, and now he has to get back to his business. I love the rewriting of the historical record on this on the part of the mainstream liberal media, because they don't want to address the issues that Elon Musk was attempting to tackle. Can you imagine what we could get done if we had a media that fairly and accurately reported the stories that they cover? Can you imagine what we would get done if the mainstream media, who sadly are viewed and listened to by many, many Americans, I'm sad to report to you, as nasty and as a piece of garbage as I think hashtag Never CNN is, hashtag Never CNN. I say hashtag Never CNN. Don't watch CNN. I'll watch CNN so you don't have to. It's an occupational hazard for me. Why would you have to suffer through all of that? CNN is a garbage network full of garbage people spewing, wait for it now, garbage. Can you imagine what the world would be like if they actually fairly and accurately reported the news? Because sadly, I'm here to tell you that a lot of people watch this clap and they believe it. They actually think it's real and it's true. And they would have you believe, amongst many other Washington, D.C. institutional organizations, would have you believe that there's this great schism between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They would secondarily have you believe that Elon Musk did not accomplish at least some of what he set out to accomplish. It was always going to be left to the Congress of the United States of America to do something with what he uncovered. And he uncovered plenty. Now, the work of DOGE continues. Make no mistake. DOGE will continue as an organization within Donald Trump's second term, designed to and focused on eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. There is plenty of it to go around. But Elon leading the cause was always going to be a temporary situation, as he has to get back to SpaceX, he has to get back to his Tesla organization, and his many, many other endeavors, entrepreneurial and otherwise, philanthropic and otherwise. So there they were, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, standing in the White House, or sitting in the White House together today, discussing what happened over the first 130 days of the Trump second term. And what happened is quite simple. Elon Musk brought to the attention of the American people, even against the desires of the mainstream media, the tremendous level of waste, fraud, and abuse that this federal government engages in on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. It's insane. And only if the House of Representatives and the Senate, only if a Republican-controlled Congress does something with this information can it be valuable. And that was always going to be the case. Elon Musk cannot and will not do it on his own. Despite what the media would have you believe, Donald Trump is not a dictator. Donald Trump is not a tyrant. Donald Trump is not a king. Nor does Donald Trump want to be. Donald Trump can only do so much to draw this to the attention of the American people. And then it is up to us to demand that our lawmakers do more. I said it to Marsha Blackburn yesterday, and I would encourage you to talk to Blackburn, to talk to Haggerty as you can. I know that Blackburn's going to be at the GOP picnic tomorrow. I wish I could be there, but I've got another obligation at the Glock store. I hope to see you at the Glock store, but if you stop by the Glock store, maybe stop by the GOP picnic, or stop by the GOP picnic, then stop by the Glock store, and tell every lawmaker at the GOP picnic the same thing. We expect you to act like the conservatives that you claim to be, and cut. Cut through fat till you get to meat, then cut through the meat till you get to the bone, and then cut some more. It is the most pressing issue before the American people. It is the greatest and most dangerous threat to the greatest country on God's green earth. It's not China. It's not Russia. It's not any other entity. It is ourselves. and our inability to act responsibly when it comes to money. I've said it for my entire career, and I'll keep saying it until I'm done on this earth, because sadly, sometimes I don't believe that anything will be done with it. Was it a success? Elon Musk was a success inasmuch as he always was working against the tide of Washington, D.C. It is the natural state of the government to grow, any government for that matter. It is the natural order of things that government grows, because that's how politicians get reelected, at least a representative republic like the United States of America. I'm sad to report that to you, but it's true. And so you have to work against the natural tide and the natural order in order to get some of these things done. And circling back, if you will, to the original point, can you imagine what more could have been accomplished if we had a CNN or an MSNBC or an ABC, CBS, NBC, New York Times, etc., that gave one damn about the United States and its people? They don't. All they're interested in doing is transforming America into Obama's own image. They have picked teams, and they are on Team Socialist, because they think, wrongly, that they'll come out scot-free in all of that, when every example of how this works involves the state taking over the media at some point or another. But that's another subject for another day. I mentioned yesterday, and I did not bother with it enough to try to look for it or try to find it, but it was Channel 2. It was local television station Channel 2 that ran a report the other night. It was on their 10 o'clock news, where they said, well, Elon Musk is a schism between Musk and Trump, and he doesn't like the big, beautiful bill, and he said he didn't like it, so he's leaving the Trump administration, and they broke apart. That was the insinuation, and it's just not true. This was always the plan. And grown men, smart grown men like Trump and Musk, can disagree on certain aspects of what's going on. And oh, by the way, I would suggest to you that Donald Trump agrees with Elon Musk that the Congress has not done enough to cut. Donald Trump is also hopeful that the Senate will do something about it now that it has its hands on the quote-unquote big, beautiful bill. So we have that on the docket today. Elon officially going back to the private sector and leaving his post as the head of Doge. A post that, by the way, all the liberals disagreed with to begin with. And once again, they're running around Washington, D.C. calling this a failure. It was no failure. It is only, well, actually, let me say it a different way. It is only a failure if you and I allow it to be. It is only a failure if we allow his work to come to nothing. I was trying to look at this. This was from Politico. Politico, a leftist D.C.-based organization, if you've ever seen one. The world's richest man barreled into Washington fresh off a decisive win for President Donald Trump, on whose campaign he'd spent nearly $300 billion. I don't know where they got that figure, but maybe it's accurate. They'd swept the swing states and won the popular vote, and Musk, along X's troll-in-chief, had taken his lib-owning all the way to the White House. On the stage, he revved a chainsaw symbol for his government slashing as the crowd roared. But Musk was a creature of Silicon Valley, a scion of the PayPal mafia, whose leadership and willingness to take big risks propelled him into unparalleled wealth and influence. Washington, he would soon discover, was an entirely different beast. And in the end, it proved too unwieldy for Musk to truly leave his mark. I just disagree with it. It is now up to us, to you and I. I was talking with Chad Benson during the crossover, the Matt Chat, if you will. And it wasn't really a disagreement, more of a semantic discussion about getting what we want and getting what we deserve. We can do as a nation anything that we set our minds to, but we have to set our mind to it. And for the length of time that I've been doing this job, and it's been a long time, and I'm not here, my pa once told me, it's all right to I forget where this happened, but somebody used the phrase preaching to the choir. Like, oh, he's preaching to the choir, Cecil. It was my grandpa. And my grandpa said, it's all right to preach to the choir, but don't start sending them to hell. You send the choir to hell, you're going to have to find you a new choir next Sunday, which is true. You're the choir, right? So I'm not here to preach to the choir or condemn the choir to hell, but I am here to tell you this. The only government that you're going to get is the government that you demand. And if you don't demand changes in government, they're going to do things to benefit themselves. Even the Republicans, they do it all the time. Republicans are great at moaning and complaining and saying that we're doing it wrong until they get power. And when they get power, they do it wrong too. And they continue to overspend. They just overspend on their pet projects. For 25 years, and I'm not trying to, pull out the quarter of a century card here, but it's true. For 25 years, I've been a budget hawk. For 25 years, I said, we cannot continue to do this. And for 25 years, I get call after call after call when I talk like this. And the people say the same thing. Call after call after call. You're right, Murphy. That's it. Let's get them. Well, what the hell are we going to do about it? Because if you don't demand Marcia do something about it, if Bill Haggerty doesn't get told to do something about it, if John Rose and Mark Green and Andy Ogles and Scott Desjardins and Tim Burchett and all the rest of them, Fleischman and David Kustoff, and gosh, what's that lady's name? Diana Harshbarger, and I think I got all of them except for Cohen. If you don't demand they do something about it, then they won't. They have to believe that if they don't cut spending in government, that their jobs are at risk. Otherwise, they are naturally predisposed to believe that they have to spend more money. It's sickening, the amount of money that we spend. Elon Musk knows that. His purpose was to bring this to the attention of the American people. Has he done his job? Are you not entertained? Now it's time to do something about it. The Republican bill sucked because it did not cut enough. But we have an opportunity to repair that in the Senate, and we need to demand it. Don't come back here with billion and trillion dollar deficit spending. We expect, and I'll say this, Marcia said it yesterday, and I'm going to hold her to it, that if you get it down to 6.5 trillion or whatever it is, she said that their budget plan that they're presenting in the Senate would send, not this year, but next year, Donald Trump a balanced budget. That's what she said. I am not living in a dream or fantasy world to believe that you can turn this huge, ginormous ship of state around in such a short length of time. But if you want to get people like Rand Paul and Matt Murphy and even Thomas Massey on board, show me where you can balance the budget in 24 months. I'll go with that. But I don't want to hear this nonsensical lip service, and I don't want to see all of this overspending, and I don't want to see all of these pet projects. I want to see real cuts to our budget. And if we don't get it now, and I'm telling y'all know me for better part of 4 years. If we don't do it now, I'm not talking about it anymore. Because I try to talk about things that the American people care about. And it occurs to me that maybe the American people don't care about this that much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the people of Tennessee don't care about it that much. Because if you did, the people that depend on your vote would listen. Is that me pointing to the choir? You're right. It is. We have to be louder than the special interest. We have to be louder than the people that are trying to grab the money. We have to be louder than the lobbyists. We have to be louder than the defense contractors. We have to be louder than all of these financial people in Washington, D.C. with their palatial. Have you been there? Have you seen K Street? They build those buildings on the money collected to make sure that the funding and the gravy keeps coming in, man. And they will fight to the death, and you better be willing to fight too, because your grandchildren depend on it. Or maybe you don't care. Maybe because let me tell you, if we can't get it now, here's my attitude. This is my attitude shift. I'm looking right at you. If we can't get it now, my attitude changes to let's spend it all and let's burn this SOB to the ground. I'm not kidding. I am as serious as a heart attack. If we can't get real spending cuts now, then I want to overspend by $100 trillion because it's all fake money at that point. Let's go. Let's have a damn party for the next 20 years until this thing doesn't exist anymore. Why not? What? Tell me how that doesn't work. All right, I'm fired up today.